Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this.
Tom Werner defends Florian Wirtz transfer with defiant message over Liverpool spending. Liverpool chairman Tom Werner has defended the club's summer spending, and in particular the signing of Florian Wirtz, after what has been a difficult start to the season for the German and the Reds. Having undergone a major spending spree following last season's title triumph. Things have not gone to plan so far for Arne Slot's side after records were broken to bring Wirtz and Alexander Isak to Anfield. The Reds already find themselves lagging 8 points behind Premier League leader Arsenal after 11 games, with some pundits suggesting their title hopes are already over, while Jamie Carragher believes they need to dip back into the market in January. While all of Liverpool's new signings have come under scrutiny so far, Wirtz in particular has come under the microscope following his much-vaunted move from Bayer Leverkusen. The 23-year-old has failed to score a goal in his 16 appearances for his new club, while only providing 3 assists so far, with none of his goal contributions coming in the league. Wirtz has come in for some harsh criticism for his recent performances, with questions still lingering about his best position in Slot's team. But Werner insists there are no regrets over his signing. When you have the opportunity to sign players of that caliber, you have to go for it, Werner told The Athletic. Take someone like Florian, he's a remarkable talent. We could be looking at a future Ballon d'Or winner. Out of all the things that have been said about Florian, if even half of them come true, he'll be a huge contributor for us. This summer was a different scenario to last summer. We felt there were players available who could strengthen us, and I'm sure those fans who always want us to spend money in the transfer market are happy with some of the decisions we took. Liverpool has a lot of work to do if it is to claw its way back into the title race this season. Starting with this weekend's game against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool emerge as lead contenders to sign missing piece of jigsaw amid Bayern Munich and Real Madrid links. Liverpool are desperate to enhance their defensive options in January if Liverpool could be accused of making a mistake under Arne Slot. Then the biggest would be the club's failure to get Mark Guehi through the doors at Anfield after allowing negotiations to drag on to the final day of the summer window. Richard Hughes got a lot of things right in his attempts to enhance the team even further from a position of strength after last year's title win. However, leaving a bid for Mark Guehi until the closing hours of deadline day made little sense when it was a deal that most thought would be concluded in the early weeks of the window. Guehi, who is regarded as one of England's most talented central defenders, has just over 7 months to run on his Crystal Palace contract before becoming a free agent. The former Chelsea star, who has been at Selhurst Park since 2021, has been the subject of rampant transfer speculation for a long time, with Newcastle showing interest in the summer of 2024, Tottenham trying to sign him in January 2025, and Liverpool going the closest by having a bid of £35 million. Accepted on deadline day only, for Palace chairman Steve Parish to pull the plug on the deal at the 11th hour. Since then, Guehi's future has remained in the spotlight. Spanish giants Barcelona and Real Madrid have both been linked with the Cobham Academy graduate, along with German champions Bayern Munich, who previously beat a number of English clubs to the signature of Guehi's former teammate Michael Olise. Quite how concrete their interest is remains to be seen, but the general feeling from Sky Sports is that those 3 clubs will only move for Guehi if and when his contract expires, potentially giving Liverpool a free run to try and return to the transfer table and get the ball rolling. In terms of discussions, when the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Day, Palace may still be reluctant to sell Guehi. The reason they didn't allow him to leave in January was because of a lack of squad depth heading into a maiden European campaign. However, it's also the club's last chance to try and make some sort of money for arguably one of the most sought-after defenders in world football. And if Liverpool can make their offer early, the Eagles might feel they have adequate time to get somebody else through the door. Why Liverpool are so desperate to sign Mark Guehi. After selling Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool were left with a slight shortage of centre-back options heading into the new season. To an extent, they aim to resolve this with the signing of Giovanni Leoni. But the teenager was only ever expected to be a squad player as he adapted to the demands of English football. The Italian has since sustained an ACL injury, ruling him out for the remainder of the campaign. This means that club captain Virgil van Dijk Ibrahima Konate, who faces an uncertain future, and Joe Gomez as the club's only centre-back options. Van Dijk is Liverpool's best defender, but at the age of 34 is in the twilight years of his career as a professional. He's asked to play every week and is usually paired with Konate, whose form has dipped hugely this campaign. Meanwhile, Gomez, who has a shaky injury record, hasn't been given many minutes. He was linked with a move away over the summer and is not thought to be someone that's a major part of Slot's long-term vision. Overall, Liverpool have conceded 17 goals in 11 matches this term, giving them the 7th worst defensive record in the division. They've struggled with the threat of long balls and set plays, something which Slot admits he's yet to find an answer to. They'll regret that decision as well, Gehi in the summer, won't they? Said Roy Keane on the overlap. Signing Gehi would immediately give Liverpool a boost in this area. He's considered one of the best central defenders in world football at the moment, is much faster than the players Liverpool have at their disposal, and is a real leader that could form a formidable partnership with Van Dijk. Ultimately, he's seen as the missing piece of their title jigsaw as they aim to rejuvenate their push for a second successive Premier League triumph. Tom Werner, how Liverpool became Premier League champions and what came next. When Liverpool returned to Premier League action at home to Nottingham Forest on Saturday, they will be playing catch-up. 5 defeats in 11 league matches have left Arne Slot's side 8 points adrift of leaders Arsenal. It hasn't been the start to the campaign anyone envisaged after the reigning champions embarked on a £450 million, $590 million summer spending spree. However, Slot retains the unwavering support of owner Fenway Sports Group FSG, and understandably so. The Dutch head coach has a huge amount of credit in the bank after exceeding all expectations in his first season in charge. The new book, Walk On, Inside Arne Slot's Liverpool by The Athletics. James Pearce details how the former Feyenoord boss masterminded the club's march to clinching title number 20 and explains why the transition from one era to another following the end of Jurgen Klopp's reign proved to be seamless. In the extract below, Chairman Tom Werner reflects on an achievement to cherish after Liverpool celebrated winning the title in front of their supporters for the first time in 35 years. Liverpool Chairman Tom Werner pulls up a seat in his office at Boston's Fenway Park. A replica of the European Cup is on the shelf beside him, and he conducts his own trophy lift. It's late June, but the buzz of being at Anfield for the final day of the season against Crystal Palace a month earlier clearly remains for the affable billionaire, American television producer and businessman. The overriding emotion for me was a great sense of pride, he says. You know even more than me how hard it is to win a Premier League title, even though we won it 5 years ago. It didn't compare to this because of what happened with COVID and the fact that the fans couldn't participate in it. The relationship between Liverpool supporters and the club is unique. It's unlike any other relationship in professional sports. The connection is so special. When Virgil van Dijk, the captain, hoisted the trophy, all the singing, all the dancing, you realize what an important moment that was in their lives, an achievement they will never forget. When everyone went down to the Kop and sang You'll Never Walk Alone, you'd need to have had ice in your veins not to have goosebumps. The 75-year-old, the second largest individual shareholder in Liverpool's owner Fenway Sports Group, joined the players and staff on the open-top bus for the 4-hour trophy parade through the city. I had the honor of seeing a million fans, seeing their joy. It's quite difficult to fully articulate what it was like when you see a boy and his grandfather both pointing in delight towards head coach Arne Slot, who is holding the Premier League trophy. You see how a moment like that is a dream come true for young and old alike. No other club could have produced scenes like that. I take Werner back to November 2023, when manager Jurgen Klopp first informed FSG that he would be stepping down at the end of that season. There must have been a feeling of trepidation about the future. First of all, Jurgen is an extraordinary coach and an extraordinary man. It's an honor to call him a friend, Werner says. When he told us he was going to leave, my first feeling was, you've been a transformational manager for Liverpool. Thank you for everything you've done. We'll respect your decision and move on. The job is relentless. He did it for nearly 9 years. There are so many different constituencies that you have to deal with, from the players to the medical department, the physios, the recruitment guys, the academy, the media, the football authorities, and, most importantly, the supporters. When I think back to that period, John W. Henry, Mike Gordon, Billy Hogan, and I also saw it as an opportunity to find somebody, not to replace Jurgen, but someone who could come in and write the next chapter. How important in launching the new era was the return of former Liverpool sporting director Michael Edwards as FSG's first chief executive of football. You've met Michael. You know he's extremely bright, extremely successful. His record is peerless. He was critical in rebuilding the structure, which included not just appointing Richard Hughes as sporting director, but also the staff under him. Like the Scouts, they say success has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan. Well, I'd say Michael is probably the preeminent father of success at Liverpool. Without his leadership, which was so important in identifying Richard and identifying so many of the players who have been so critical to the success we've enjoyed, we wouldn't be where we are now. Did he need much persuading to return, having left in summer 2022? Yes and no. He's a very talented man, and I'm sure he had a lot of competing offers. But Liverpool is Liverpool. Key for Michael was our commitment to purchasing a second club. That's very much still the plan, but it has to be the right opportunity. We've looked at a number of clubs and it just hasn't been the right fit yet. I do believe eventually that will happen. FSG had trusted Edwards' judgment when it came to Hughes, and the owners were quickly impressed by how the Scotsman went about his business, especially when it came to dealing with the contract sagas involving Mohamed Salah, Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm pleased to say that Richard is a friend of mine, and what I like about him as a friend translates into why he's a great leader. He's got a very kind and thoughtful outlook on life. He's not overwhelmed by the job, Werner says. His experience as technical director previously at Bournemouth was really helpful, and the ability he had shown there to identify talent. My impatience is balanced by his patience. I'd call him frequently and say, "Richard, how are things going with Mo Salah and his contract?" And he would say, "Tom, it will all be good in the end." I think all the agents who deal with him would say that he conducts business in a very respectful way. He has a plan and he executes it. We were delighted that the new contracts for Mo and Virgil were sorted. But you know what? If Richard had called and said, "The chasm is too big," I would have respected that too. John, Mike and I tried to find people who are excellent at their jobs and let them do their jobs. We don't meddle, we just provide support and advice from our point of view. There's a lot of trust. I can't say enough wonderful things about Richard. In the spring of 2024, FSG had put its faith in Edwards and Hughes to find the perfect successor to Klopp, and they certainly delivered with the appointment of Slot from Dutch club Feyenoord, with Michael and Richard on board. We had enormous confidence that they would find the right person, Werner says. Arne was always their first choice, and he's shown why that was the case. It's a surprise to everyone that his first year went quite so wonderfully, but it's been a source of delight. One of Arne's great attributes is his authenticity. He's not trying to be Jurgen Klopp, he's not trying to be Pep Guardiola. He's his own man, and he's quite brilliant in all the things that he does. I think he saw this as a great opportunity for him. He came into a club which was very strong. He inherited a squad which was enormously talented. He felt he could work with them and help improve some of their performances. He's a wonderful strategist. He took something that was already in very good shape and molded it to his liking. His humility is balanced with a real inner belief that he knows what he's doing. I had an opportunity to watch training before the final game of the season and it was very impressive. The fact that Arne, as head coach, was able to focus solely on coaching worked well. The dynamic is good between him, Richard and Michael. The iconic title celebrations and the trophy parade had been followed by the sight of Sir Paul McCartney, pop music royalty and perhaps the city's most famous son, joining Bruce Springsteen on stage during the latter's series of sell-out summer concerts at Anfield. They did a duet of the Beatles' song Can't Buy Me Love. Those weeks with the eyes of the world on Merseyside provided a snapshot of the heights Liverpool had reached both on and off the field with the help of shrewd leadership and a passionate, energized fan base. Over the course of FSG's reign, two sides of the stadium had been redeveloped at a cost of £200 million, increasing capacity from 44,000 to 61,000. We are enormously proud of the improvements we've made at Anfield, Werner says. After we acquired the club in 2010, we were looking at plans that the previous owners had for a new stadium, but we felt that there was such a great history at Anfield. The choice really wasn't stay at Anfield or build a new stadium. The question in front of us was, how do we renovate Anfield? How do we make it bigger, better and louder? How do we give the fans the amenities that they would get at other first-class stadiums in England? I use the metaphor of the virtuous circle. The more success we have on the pitch, the more we generate through match day, commercial and media streams. It all goes back into the club and allows us to do all the great things we do. We are relentless. We can always grow. Our focus is always on winning more trophies.
Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.